The stage is set. Notre Dame will face Georgia in the college football playoff quarterfinal at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Can the Irish take down the Powerhouse Dawgs?
By Samarja, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5 rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that it won't be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Landon Traylor with John Richards. Logan Traylor might be joining us momentarily. We will see. If not, it's just us. We hope you all had a wonderful Christmas as we are coming to you on Monday, December 30th. After beating IU, Notre Dame will travel to New Orleans to face a rested-up SEC champion, Georgia. The Dawgs will be without starting quarterback Carson Beck and will resort to their backup quarterback, Gunnar Stockton. The Dawgs will also be without their starting punter as well. So, JR, in the Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame and Georgia, how we feel heading into this matchup 2 days away?
Well, here we are. I mean, how exciting is it? I can't believe that we're actually here. Yeah. All the stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the season, here we are.
Yes.
It's remarkable. I can't wait to play. I feel really good. I don't think you could be in a better spot, given, the makeup of how Georgia is right now. Certainly not going to say that it's any gimme or anything, but they're a little wounded. We're in their backyard, but we're not in their home stadium. We've got a game under our belt. They've been sitting for a while. They've got a backup quarterback playing. I worry about their coach. He's obviously going to have them prepared, and they're going to play physical. And it's going to be a great atmosphere, and I can't wait to watch it take place.
It's going to be a great game and a great atmosphere. You can make an argument that Kirby Smart is the best active college football coach currently in the game. He's definitely going to go down as one of the greatest. He put UGA back on the map. Growing up in my childhood, they were always in the top 25, top 15, but they could never beat the Alabama, the Auburn. They always struggled with them. He got them back on the map, put them obviously 2 national titles back to back. So their backup quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, sophomore quarterback. He's from Georgia, and on the season, he's 25 of 32 for 206 yards, 1 interception, 11 carries for just 15 yards. So we saw him a little bit in that SEC championship game when Georgia took on Texas. He led them to a victory. He got knocked out right after picking up the 1st and goal. He tried to run it in himself. He took almost a targeting hit, wasn't targeting, got knocked out of the game. Beck comes in, literally just hands the ball off, and Georgia wins. In that ball game, though, he did throw a crucial interception when they pressured him. He threw a very big interception in that ball game. Their running back, Nate Frazier, has 634 yards this year, along with 8 touchdowns, and Trevor Etienne, 571 yards and 9 touchdowns. JR, we talk about us having a scary backfield. Oh, boy, they got a scary backfield as well.
Listen, these two teams are almost mirror images of each other in how they are built and how they are and how they operate, how they play. They're physical up front. They like to run the ball. They've got multiple people that can do it. We've got 4 people can do it. I would argue we've got a few more guys in the stable, including our quarterback, that can do it. But in terms of style and makeup, it's almost like looking in a mirror. It really is.
Absolutely. You could make an argument that these two teams are very identical all across the board. Moving along to their receivers, Arian Smith, 750 receiving yards with 4 touchdowns. Dominic Lovett, 571 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. And then Dylan Bell with 433 receiving yards and just 4 touchdowns on the year. And then their tight end, a guy to also watch out for, Lawson Lucky, 348 receiving yards this season with 3 touchdowns. Malachi Starks, their starting defensive back. He is absolutely elite. He has 48 solo tackles this season, and on the season, their defense, 36 sacks. 36 sacks from this defense. They've also forced 8 interceptions and recovered 11 fumbles. JR, their defensive line, as you would expect, is absolutely elite. The best we've faced in, honestly, a long time.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough test. They got playmakers littered throughout their defense, specifically their defensive line. You know, I would say maybe this is comparable to our defensive line, but we've lost Riley Mills. That's a big hit. They're probably going to have the edge, comparably speaking, D-line to D-line. But we're getting Rocco back, I think. That's going to be a big help. Listen, our offensive line, they've done a great job all year long. They're going to do it by committee here, and I expect the same to happen this game. And yeah, we're going to be tested, but we're going to stand strong. Riley Leonard's going to stand in there, and it's no holds barred here. We gotta sack up and block everybody as well as we can, control the line of scrimmage, maybe play a little bit of keep away, but tough task for sure, no doubt. They're excellent up front.
Absolutely, as you would expect them to be. Now, on the other side of the ball, their offensive line is a little bit down. They've allowed 21 sacks this season. That is among the bottom 50 of college football, I believe, if I read the stat correctly during the bowl game, because a team allowed 17 sacks this season and was in the bottom 70. So I think that should be bottom 50. So, JR, I think we might have an advantage from our defensive line point. They have allowed 21 sacks. Pressure him all night long, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and it's probably going to have to come from various angles from different position groups too, to probably compensate a little bit for the loss of Mills. But I think we're getting KVA back too.
Yeah.
This is the benefit of playing all this youth all season long for whatever reason it was necessary. Doesn't matter now. Our guys are tested all the way through. Golden, he's great at scheming pressures and whatnot. So I sometimes worry a little bit, with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Do we leave our guys on the island? I think they're going to play pretty aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go deep over the top quite often, because we're going to go we're probably going to man up on the edges, and we're going to leave our guys on islands. And Golden, he likes to send those blitzes, man. Even on 3rd and 19, sometimes he goes double barrel blitz.
Oh yeah,
I'm a little worried about that in a game like this with a team that's got a backup, quarterback. He's probably not going to be running the ball much.
Right.
So how much pressure do we just consistently throw at him, and where does it come from? I think that's going to be an interesting tactic. See how it plays out.
I would love to pressure him just to get him a little bit rattled. That's the last thing I want as a backup quarterback, getting settled in and getting comfortable. You never want a backup quarterback. I think if you see, obviously not rooting for injury here for Carson Beck, I'm disappointed that Carson Beck isn't playing. Because that would make the game even better, and I think it's great for college football. However, take advantage of the opportunity here. They're taking a backup quarterback into a win-or-go-home game. Make him rattle. Get him uncomfortable at the end of the day. He's never been in this spot before. It looked like he caved a little bit under pressure in that Texas game with the interception. So get him uncomfortable. Don't let him get settled in. I think we might be in for a long night here, JR.
Yeah, and you got to hit him early and hit him often.
Yeah.
Early and often. Early and often.
Let's take a look at how Georgia got here. They opened up with a 34-3 victory over Clemson. That game was just an absolute dominating performance from the Dawgs before rolling Tennessee Tech, 48-3. And then would escape with a 13-12 win at Kentucky in a game that Stoops could have won it, but instead he decided to punt it away. And, well, yeah. They fell 41-34 at Alabama early on in the season, and before blowing out Auburn 31-13. and then would escape with a 41-31 victory at home against Mississippi State. So some warning signs, a little bit of red flags here. Carson Beck was turning the ball over. Georgia wasn't really playing well at all. They then rolled Texas on the road 30-15 at DKR, and then 2 late touchdowns to beat Florida 34-20. They struggled all game. They were dominated at Ole Miss 28-10 the very next week. That game was just all controlled by Ole Miss for the entirety. They would roll Tennessee 31-17. They beat UMass 59-21, and then survived in 8 overtimes, 44-42 against Georgia Tech, and then won the SEC championship 22-19 over Texas. The Dawgs averaged 33 points per game, and along with 284 pass yards per game, as well as 129 rushing yards per game. However, JR, they're allowing 20 points per game. They're allowing 208 passing yards per game, and they're allowing 128 rushing yards per game. This team is up and down offensively. They'll put up 13 points one week, and then the very next week they'll put up 41. Defensively, they're up and down as well. They'll give up 42 one week, and then the very next week they'll give up 19. So a very up and down team. Just not what we're used to seeing from a Georgia team through the last 5 years.
Yeah, but good teams find ways to win. We say that cliche all the time, and here they are. They have found their way back into the playoffs, the championship scene. Mm-hmm. They're kind of carrying the torch for the SEC, so to speak. They're not the favorite, but they're favored to win this game. I think they're a 1.5 point favorite. A little surprising to me. They have their warts, but they're beatable. That's why we play the game. It's a down year for them, like we said earlier. They got a backup quarterback playing. Mm-hmm. They're a little suspect in some areas. They've turned the ball over. They're a little loose with the door and letting people through and pressuring it. So we got some advantages here. I think that maybe we have not had in these situations versus some of these SEC teams in the past. Now, maybe you're going to hit on this. Historically, we have never beaten Georgia. We're 0-3 against them. They've all been 3 very close games. Mm-hmm. So I expect the same here.
Yeah, that was actually our next segment here. As JR mentioned, Georgia leads the all-time series 3-0 in the 1981 Sugar Bowl. It was a 17-10 victory for the Dawgs. Herschel Walker and Georgia defeated Notre Dame. In 2017, the Dawgs would win it 20-19 at Notre Dame Stadium, where they took it over.
Far side, 2nd and 15. Looking left, setting up the screen. Good block downfield. Springing Adams inside the 20. Josh Adams inside the 10. First and goal for the Irish at the 5. With a flag to probably get him even closer after a gain of 33. Georgia feels that too. Wimbush keeping, rolling towards the pylon. In for the touchdown.
Receiver.
Then in the hands of DeAndre Swift, bounces it outside. Look out! Swift at the 30. Pursuit at the 20. Face mask brings him down inside the 15. It'll be first and goal for Georgia. Gonna run it inside with Sony Michel to the end zone. Georgia ties the game. This is for the lead. Blankenship, who missed one earlier, bangs it in from the right hash. And the Georgia Bulldogs, their first ever visit to South Irish. Clock restarts. Wimbush hit. Lost the ball. Who's got it? Still free. Georgia looks like they've got it on the bottom of the pile. Bellamy with the hit. Carter in there looking for the recovery. Georgia ball. Ball game.
Just a speed.
And then in 2019, their most recent matchup, it was a 23-17 Georgia victory.
Book fakes the throw, in trouble. To the back of the end zone. Caught by Clement for the touchdown.
Wants to throw it wide, nobody there. I think he's throwing it right here to the back.
He was trying to get it to Tony
Jones. And intercepted on the play.
Cole Clement says, I'll take that.
Intercepted by your own guy for a
drive. Back shoulder, Cager. Touchdown!
I think he got his right foot down. Troy Pride, number 5. Good position, but another perfect back shoulder.
Blitz coming, throws to the corner, Claypool, touchdown.
If you push with your elbow, you get away with it. McGee could not stop.
This is the ball game if Notre Dame doesn't get a first down. Book's in trouble. Given chase, he's just going to lay it up in the middle of the field, and it's knocked down by Georgia. DJ Daniel got a hand on it, and you saw the exhale from Kirby Smart on the Georgia sideline.
All these games came down to the very last play, so you're right. I do expect this to come down to the wire. I expect it to be like those previous 3 matchups. That is a rare occurrence, though, for Notre Dame to be 0-3 against opponent, JR.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But I kind of like that here. It's a little added motivation. I think the 81 Sugar Bowl, did that not lead them to a national championship as well?
We did.
Yeah, so we got a lot to play for here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go get it done.
Absolutely, we do. And that was actually, I think, the last time Notre Dame was in the Sugar Bowl was that loss to Georgia in 1981.
No. We played Florida when Pettis went off. I think it was in 91. We were in the Sugar Bowl with Lou Holtz. Steve Spurrier was coaching Florida. I think they were 3 in the country. We were 18th. We were heavy underdogs, and we went in there and we rolled them, man. It was a great game.
Oh, okay. Well, you learn something new every single day. JR, keys to the game here for Wednesday night's ball game.
Well, the last game, I went the 3 Ps. This game, all the basics are going to come into play here. Line of scrimmage, turnovers, protecting the ball, all of those things. I've got one key here. Mm-hmm. One key.
Okay.
These teams are so similar across the board. Mm-hmm. Riley Leonard. He's the difference maker in this game. Okay. We've got Riley Leonard. They're playing with their backup. All things being equal, there is our advantage right there. If we win the game, it's going to be because of him that we do it. And I think that's going to be the difference here. I got one key, Riley Leonard. That's
Riley Leonard, 13 RL. I like that. My keys, I'll stick to the 3. I think we need to establish the run game early. If we can establish that right off the bat and set the tempo, set the tone for the game. Listen, we're going to run it right down your throat until you stop us. There you go. Number 2, force bad throws. Force bad throws from this backup quarterback all night long. If you can make him make those types of decisions that he doesn't want to, put him in those positions where he's got a guy in his face, he's got to get rid of the ball quickly, make him throw it to our secondary, pick him off. And lastly, control the time of possession like we did against Indiana. We dominated that time of possession. Every time we had the ball, we were taking it down the field and taking time off the clock, not limiting their possessions. Limit their possessions, control our time of possession. And so, with that being said, we'll move on to our college.
Can I expand on that a little bit?
Go ahead.
I also think it's important to wear their defense down, not just keeping them away from having the ball, but keep that defense on the field and grind them down, because they're going to try and do that to us too.
Right. Absolutely. I think our depth will be tested a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of moving pieces on the defensive line and maybe into the secondary a little bit as well. Our college football quarterfinal picks. Here we go. I have Logan's picks. He's not able to join us today, but he was able to send me his picks. We'll start with JR, of course, in the college football playoff quarterfinal at the Fiesta Bowl. On New Year's Eve, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN, we have Penn State and Boise State.
Tickle me Sandusky and the Broncos. I'm going to give some credit here to our guy, cheerleader Tom Allen.
Yeah.
He's done a phenomenal job, and this is what makes him an excellent coach. He's a phenomenal defensive coordinator. You've seen that all throughout the year. You saw it last week against the Ponies, and you're probably going to see it here. They're going to be a party at the ball every time they go to tackle Genty. I got Tickle Me Sandusky here. I got Penn State.
Yeah, I definitely could see that. Logan's rolling with Penn State as well. I gotta say, I'm pulling for Boise State, and I'm gonna pick them to win. I'm gonna pick Boise State to knock out Penn State from the college football playoff. They got a lot to prove. A lot of people say, "Oh, they shouldn't be here." Da 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 da. Let's go. Line them up. Line up the ball. Put the ball down. Let's go. Give me the Broncos. In the college football playoff quarterfinal at the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day at 1 p.m. on ESPN, we have Texas and Arizona State. Excited for this one, but I think this one might end ugly for a certain team.
Not so fast. Not so fast.
Oh.
I'll pick Texas, but Arizona's going to give them Arizona State's going to give them a hell of a game. They really are. I love Dilly Dilly.
Me too.
They have all kind of momentum rolling into this game.
Mm-hmm.
They can score a lot of points.
Yes.
They've got a very dynamic back.
Yes,
They've got a quarterback that can sling it around.
Yes, they do.
I think, they're the prohibitive favorite on the weekend. I think they have the largest number, Texas, 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick Texas, but don't be so shocked if this is a game in the fourth quarter. Dilly.
Yeah, dilly. Logan's going with the Horns as well. Listen, I'm rooting for Arizona State hard in this one. I love their story. They were projected to finish dead last in their conference this year. They roll out and are in the college football playoff quarterfinal against an SEC team. However, I gotta go with the Steers in this ball game. Give me the Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em. And in the best college football playoff quarterfinal game, I will say we are number 2 because we have a rematch. The college football playoff quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl. New Year's Day, 5 p.m. on ESPN. It is Ohio State and Oregon. You made a great point, JR, last week, a couple weeks ago when we did our IU preview. If you're going to get Ohio State, you better get them now. And that was in regards to the first round. Tennessee failed to do that, and they got their ass kicked in the process. We might see Ohio State hoisting that gold trophy come the end of the year, JR.
Very quite possible. They're favored in this game, even though they lost to them earlier in the year, in a game that maybe they could have won had they managed the clock a little bit differently. I'm going to pick Ohio State here. They're playing well. They're not playing Michigan. They know they're going to have to keep up with Oregon, so inherently they're going to put the pedal to the metal, and they're going to use their weapons on the outside. They're going to spread it out. This is going to be a fantastic game. You know how hard it is to beat a team twice in the same season. Mm-hmm. This is a neutral site. Pete, this is the Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State's certainly going to take that very, very serious, playing in the Rose Bowl. They think they place. Mm-hmm. That's like their rightful home that those crazies believe. But Oregon's going to give them a game too. They certainly can win this game. They're the favorite to win the national championship. But I got Zero State here. They're dangerous right now. I wouldn't want to be playing them a second time.
No, I don't. I would not want to play Ohio State at all, regardless of where we end up playing them, which would be the national title. Logan says Ohio State by 1 million. Ohio State by 1 million points. Logan's also going with Texas. I don't think I said that. I, on the other hand, am going with the Oregon Ducks in a instant classic game. I think McCord's going to turn the ball over. I don't think Oregon's going to turn the ball over. I also will go with Coach Lanning over Coach Day in this ball game. Give me the Oregon Ducks in another instant classic. This is going to come down to the wire. This is going to be an instant classic. Thanks, John McCain. All right. The college football playoff quarterfinal at the Sugar Bowl. New Year's Day. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Might need to make some coffee here on the nightcap for this ball game. Notre Dame and Georgia live from New Orleans.
Wow. This is the biggest Notre Dame game, I don't know, last 10, 11 years to me, I think. A win here, and you're really getting serious.
Mm-hmm.
This team has a ton of belief right now. The offense is hitting its stride. I don't like how we finished that second half against Indiana, but I'm hoping that there was a little vanilla ice cream involved there in preparation for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's beaten us 3 times. They're formidable. They're really, really good. You watch that game against Alabama, and they were getting the brakes beat off of them, and they don't quit. They just keep playing and playing and playing and playing. Yeah, they've stubbed their toes. So have we.
Mm-hmm.
Their schedule was, probably a little more difficult than ours based on their opponents, but our schedule has its difficulties as well. These two teams are made for this moment. I'm not picking against Notre Dame here. And traditionally, I would not feel good about this game if you know who was running the ship. And I've had my concerns with Coach Freeman as well.
Yes.
He has matured quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He has become a fairly, I think, well-in-tuned coach with his program and in what the team's needs based on how the game is playing out. I think he's got a lot of confidence in his coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
I got Notre Dame 23-20 in this, Landon, and I think the Irish are going to the semifinals. I'm not sure who we're going to play.
Penn State.
Let's just stick to this one. I got the Irish 23-20 in a phenomenal final college football playoff game for this round.
Yeah. This is going to be a good game, I think. I don't think we're going to roll over and get blown out. Logan has the Irish in this one, 17-13, winning it to advance to the college football playoff semifinal round, where it would be in Miami. But let's stick to this one, as you said. I have the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame taking down the Dawgs 24-17 to punch their ticket to the semifinal round, which would be next week. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to come down to who takes care of the ball more. I think we're going to take care of the ball more. I like our depth more. I like our quarterback more in this game. I like our running backs more in this game. Give me the Irish 24-17. That does it for us today. We all, the Golden Numbers Report, wish you all a safe New Year's Eve and a Happy New Year. You can catch all the games New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Monday, December 30th here, we have the Music City Bowl today with Missouri and Iowa. With that being said, we are back next week to recap all of the quarterfinal games and especially an Irish victory. Until next week, go Irish and have a safe and wonderful New Year, everybody.